What is going on, everybody? So, starting off this video with a little bit of a conundrum. We're doing some gold, encorded gold, right? 10K, shouldn't have been too bad. So I was grabbing some copper out to encort, and yeah, my copper was just copper coated steel. So I was like, why the heck is this not melting? So anyways, we're gonna have to leave this little bit out. That's gonna be fun. I'll tell you, that's gonna be fun. I'll just have this sit in some hydrochloric acid for a while, and hopefully we can at least get the majority out of the steel out of it, so it doesn't turn into a big rust pile. But not the end of the world. Let's see here. This is the rest of our gold we're going to be dealing with. So, I've got it encorded, well, to a degree. That's going to be interesting, because this is quite a bit of weight here. So, we're just going to be shooting in the dark with this one. Let's just see if nitric acid is going to touch it at all. Hopefully a little bit. And it might just be a dirty gold drop, which is not the end of the world either. Alright, grab a little bit of nitric. So we got 100. We're going to start with 25. There we go. Away. Hold on here. See if we have any reaction right off the bat. Nothing crazy. Alright, well, let's put it on some heat and see what happens. If we don't get a reaction, what we'll do is we'll just double the weight in copper. That I will check with a magnet, because, man, out of the contact, the little contact arms, they definitely had me fooled. Oh, and the new gloves, going back to the disposable. I feel like it's too hard to keep the bigger pair clean. So when I get into like the other silver stuff, I find myself using my fingers, which are also not clean, but definitely the cleaner of the two. So, yeah, back to the disposables. I'll tell you what, I just did my 10K. I didn't even go with, like, the entire batch, and that would have made that a whole nightmare. So I'm really happy. Somebody recommended that, actually, and thank you so much for that recommendation. I was planning on doing a bigger batch, but I decided against that. I was like, you know what? Well, one, we get a couple different videos. I can do a 10 carat. I can do the 14 carat. And I actually have some 18 carat. Not a whole bunch of 18 carat, but I do have some coming. And yeah, so I decided, hey, you know what? Let's just do one of them. And I am happy for that. I'll be checking everything with a magnet now. All right, we got some pretty cool crystals. I let this sit overnight, so I imagine we had some silver come out. All right, well, let's go ahead and load this back up with a little bit more. We'll go ahead and throw the rest of the nitric in there. So it'll be 25 milliliters. Back on the heat it goes. All right, so I'm kind of worried with the amount of silver that's probably in this solution here. There's probably not a whole bunch, so I'm not going to cement it. What I'm going to do is just precipitate it out with We're going to use salt today. I'm going to save some of my hydrochloric. I've got a little bit of gold coming up here, and I want to save that for that route. Let's see here. And there might not be any in here to begin with. Oh yeah, we got a little bit. Cool. We've got some cottage cheese in there. Alright, well, we'll let that settle, and then we'll add some more to it if need be. Alright, so I just did one more boil here, just to kind of keep the video down a little bit. And as we can see, we've picked up a little bit of color. So we're going to let this cool down before I put it in the storage tank. We'll do one more, see if we can keep that clear. That gold is looking really nice though. Do a nice job rinsing this off of there, just so that we know that we're not getting any color in. Nice clear. That's the way we want it to stay. All right. And I didn't have anything else out of that silver either. All right, and then we're going to do another 25. I realize the amount of this nitric acid is probably a little overkill. It's probably what you're thinking anyway. These last two definitely still have active nitric in it. There's no question about that. So what I plan to do is I'm going to just store it in here, and we'll reuse that for the next batch. I have a couple more gold projects coming up, so it'd be a perfect time to use it. Alright, back in business here. So it looks like we did pick up a small color there. We still got a slight blue. Slight blue. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing over again. See if we can get this to be crystal clear. That gold is looking really good though. I'll do one rinse here and then I'll get you a close-up, show you what it looks like. Pretty nice color. Alright, let's do it one more time. Alright. And another 25. Hopefully that's the last one. Nice and clear. All right. Well, I can see the solution. It's still hiding on your end here. The these gloves take a little longer to put on than the last pair. I would say that is crystal clear. Yeah, and they're definitely not as heat resistant as the other one too. Well, let's give this a quick rinse, and then we'll go right into some aqua regis. Yeah, that's still toasty. See here. Just gonna kind of rinse everything down here. In an ideal world, it would probably be nice to have a whole bunch of these, so you could swap back and forth between them. But this is just our first drop, so it'll be alright. Alright, and break out the hydrochloric. Alright, hold on. We'll get you guys a close-up of this stuff. There we go. It's looking fantastic. A little bit of a close-up here. Got one. It's probably three actually. We're gonna start. We'll do that. We'll keep it at 7. See what happens from there. If we have to add a little bit more, we'll add a little bit more. Any reaction right off the bat? Nope. We'll have to throw some heat at it. Alright, let's let it eat. There we go. Starting to attack it. Maybe do a time lapse here. Alright, so there's a couple of steps we got to take here before we start filtering this out. One being a little bit of sulfuric acid. See if we have any lead in here. Precipitated out as lead sulfate. I didn't really see any change, so I think we're okay there. And another thing we got to do is verify we've got all of our nitric out. So let's see here. Definitely best to do this when it's warm. See if we have any reaction, which I'm sure we'll have some. Oh no, none whatsoever. That's the perfect amount. I'll take that as a win. I was highly anticipating there to be a little bit of a nitric reaction left. And we've got our nice clean flask Buckner funnel. Actually, hold on. We're going to wait a little bit. Let this cool down. So if any silver is in solution, we can precipitate it out as silver chloride. So we will be back shortly once this drops in temperature. Alright, we are ready. Solution stayed crystal clear, so this should be a fairly easy filtration. Need to reload. Alright, back in business here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and clean this beaker out while it's all in here. Alright, let's go for this gold. Actually, there's always some that gets stuck here. Go like this quick. There we go. Alright, for today's drop, we're just going to use SMB. Alright, white foam. Excellent. Well, we're just going to let this settle out here for a little while, and then we'll start the cleanup process. Alright, so we got a nice amount of gold there sitting at the bottom. Let's go ahead and drain this off and see what we're working with. Alright, grab the old stock pot out. See if I can be gentle with this stuff here. It sits to the bottom quite nicely. See if we're going to sacrifice anything to the refining gods today. I'd say we did pretty good. Alright, we're not going to go too crazy. I'm just going to do a couple of rinses and then a boil. We'll go ahead and let this stuff settle. It's pretty thin. Not terribly thin, but definitely thin enough we'll lose some. Yeah, so we're just going to wait a little bit, let that settle, and then we'll add a little bit more distilled water. It's loose. A little bit more distilled water, throw it on the heat plate, let it boil, and that's pretty much all we're going to do for cleaning. It's definitely not going to be pure, but I'm just going to add that to the collection of gold powder I have, and we'll go ahead and refine it all at once. Alright, back with the gold here. We'll get the last rinse we're going to do, cold rinse. And then, like I said, this isn't going to be a super clean gold by the time we're done with it, because I do plan on doing a whole bunch of it all at the same time, instead of doing, you know, like a gram here or a gram there. I think it just well, especially if I melt it, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I have such a hard time not melting this stuff up right away, because I mean, come on, you do all this hard work and then just to see that gold button at the end is awesome. I'm gonna put a little more in there, because I will definitely get some sidetracked upstairs, and then that'll boil over, or it'll boil all the way out, and then I'll have gold stuck all over the beakers. So we're not gonna do that. Put a little more in there. All right, turn that heat on. We don't need this anymore, at least for the time being. We do need this though, and I'm throwing it all over the place. All right, well, let's let it eat. Actually, no. We don't want it to eat. We want the gold to stay there. We want it to clean. All right. We've been boiling for quite some time now, and I think we are ready to pour it off. And I didn't even forget about it. All right, well, actually, we're going to let that cool down a little bit just before I put it in here, just so we don't break any glass. Let's go ahead and dump this out and see what our gold looks like. It's still a little warm, but it's I can touch it. Well, and there's the gold after the first refining. Let's go ahead and evaporate it up. It looks pretty dang good for one drop. All right, and there we are, all dehydrated. So, funny thing is, my scale gave up the ghost. That's all I have is like 2 little words here. So I just ordered one. I should have one here tomorrow. I am going to put that into a smaller container that's separate from the rest, so that we can get a weight on it tomorrow. Let's see here. And then at least I can get you a close-up. So not bad color for the first refining. We'll definitely be refining this gold a couple more times before we melt it up. But I do want to get a weight, so we'll get a weight on it. Like I said, I'll get the scale tomorrow. We'll get a weight on it, and yeah, I'll put the video out. I'm actually really surprised at the color. It turned out pretty good. What is going on, everybody? Ah, look at, I got cleaned up finally. Holy smokes, it's been a while. I'm starting to feel like a Q-tip. You know, a little puffy, you know? Anyways, so I got my new scale. All right, thank you, 1-day shipping, I'll tell you that. And I got some other goodies here. We'll open that up. But let's first get a, hold on, I gotta figure this thing out. Ah, man, look at, fancy. All right, turn the power on here, and let me put you in hand mode quick. All right, hand mode, here we go. So I've got 2 containers, the same containers. I've got one with our gold in it, and one without. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna imagine, there we go. 2.55 grams. And look at that. You can actually see. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Perfect. Well, not a bad amount. I know we have, we should have a little bit more in that other, that little goof up I had, which is all right. It happens. I learned a lesson, and that's the important part. Magnets, 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 magnets. All right. Well, we're just gonna add that gold. So it's yeah, we're getting up there. We got a little bit yet. We're gonna do a refine on all of this, maybe a couple times, 2-3 times, when we get a decent amount. I think we're only at like 6 grams or something. So ixnay on that right now. I still have some 12K. So this is about 12 grams of 12K. And let's see what I got. Let's see what I got. Well, I know what I got. This is mail call from myself. So I know exactly what it is. It's not a whole bunch. But, man, this box is definitely... There we go. I think I see it. It's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. It's kicking my rear. Definitely not that way. This way? On this episode, you get to watch somebody get their butt kicked by a box. Oh, yeah. There we go. That'll work. I think it's the bottom, but 12 hours later. All right, man. I even had to sign for this. I never have to sign for this stuff, which is odd, but it's okay. I guess it was a guaranteed way to make sure I got it. Ooh, I see some shipping stuff. Perfect size, too. All right. Let's see. I can't let the wife see this one. I can't let the wife see this one. Shh. Not a whole bunch, but it is 18K. So let's see here. Yeah, there's a big old knot in there. I'm not trying to get that out, but I think it actually is whole. Oh no, I wouldn't give that to her. That's been beat up. Let's see. Ooh, I gotta try this again. 3.25 grams of 18K. Here we go. So we'll be doing some of that. I might just throw this into the 12K. But let me tell you what, that copper, oh, I don't know if I'll ever go back to sterling. I mean, it's nice to do the sterling and the copper, or the sterling and the gold kind of both at once. But, man, it is so much easier to know when you have everything out of there. I mean, it is bright blue, and then it's not. So it's definitely a heck of a lot easier to do. Now, the downside is copper takes much more nitric to consume the copper versus sterling. So I think it's 2 milliliters of water, distilled water, and 2 milliliters of nitric acid to dissolve 1 gram of sterling, where it's 4 distilled water and 4 nitric to dissolve 1 gram of copper. So you are doubling it, your nitric acid cost, which, you know, I guess if you're having, you know, if you're doing a huge batch of it, I could see the benefits of just running sterling. And but for my little batches, the copper, and it comes out, I mean, fairly clean. I mean, we saw the color of that, and I didn't even do like a hydrochloric boil or nothing on that. So we'll save all of that for when we refine everything together. I feel like it's just so much easier to lose a bunch of gold to the stock pot, or as we like to call here at Silverstall, sacrificing to the refining gods. So, although they are going to get a little bit, I don't want them to have too much, especially with the little batches I got, you know, like I want to collect it, and we'll do the stock pot all at once. I guess it's not the end of the world because it's all in one place. But I do have to figure out a different stock pot because it kind of is a pain in the rear to get it out. You know, I dissolve it all in aqua regis right inside there after I get as much liquid out as I can. But it's just kind of risky because I don't think that glass is tempered to do heat, so it just takes a long time. So we'll have to look into that. Maybe you guys got some ideas. And you guys always have great ideas. There's no question about that. Yeah. So there we go. I got some gold back on the channel, and I've got pins right now. I've got CPU pinless pins, CPU pinless ones, actually in aqua regis as we speak. So we'll be doing that gold drop here soon. Hopefully I get that video out tomorrow, or that might be a Monday one. We'll see. It's coming up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.